welcome back to another Eto Catch-Up Nerdcast. Look, there's a lot of names attached to this thing, so if you found it, well done. I am Will.
I'm Josh.
And today we're going to be checking out the DC's latest show, and, you know, they come up with a new one of these every week, so you can never keep tracking of them. But this one, I didn't say any words there, this one is called Stargirl, and that's not Disney Plus Stargirl, that's DC Universe Stargirl, but also Stargirl that will be on CW in a slightly cut-down format because they can't actually have a 52-minute episode, so I'm really intrigued to know what they do there. Anyway...
So she's part of the CW series?
In a very askew way. I mean, it's not much of a spoiler for Crisis. Like, there's a lot to go there. But
sure.
in that event, they basically go, everything DC ever is part of the Arrowverse. So, in that respect, yes, but
cool.
Not quite.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about just Stargirl, and if you haven't seen the show already, which you probably haven't because it's not even been on television properly yet, so fair enough, we'll just go a little spoiler-free. Joshua, how did you feel?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Like, I found it very easy to watch.
Yes.
It's not anything, like, too intense. It's very cheesy.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very cheesy, but at the same time, I did find myself... invested enough to be considering whether I'm going to continue watching this. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's DC. I don't think if it was anything else.
Yes.
I don't think I would care all that much. But because it's related to something that I'm interested in, yeah, I did find myself somewhat considering and thinking about what my life would be like if I continued watching it, I guess.
Do you need me to talk, or are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
It's all right. Isolation does weird things to a man.
It does, yes.
But yeah, it was fine. First episode was fine.
Yep.
Yeah, how did you feel?
I think it's interesting you say if it wasn't DC, you wouldn't watch it, because I think what this show does really well, well's, you know, really and well is a bit too much, but what it does is if this is your first ever piece of, like, superhero medium, I think you would really, really like it, because I think a lot of the tropes and a lot of things that I think both of us probably will get into it didn't enjoy, I think will be still fresh to you if you've not seen something like this before. I think, like you say, it's really watchable, and I think it's also really accessible, and it looks really good. Like, for television, it looks really nice. So I think in the respect of being as open and as accessible to as many people as possible, I think it did a good job. But yeah, it is a tricky thing of going, like, I will watch it until I'm bored of it. I don't see it like, you know, Westworld and the Harley Quinn show and stuff where I'm like, I don't think I'm going to give up on this show. This one, it's like a wait and see kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's, I don't know, yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's like, I honestly didn't know that this was a thing, I don't think. Maybe, like, at some point you'd mentioned it to me.
It was definitely like when they announced DC Universe, it was Swamp Thing, Titans, Doom Patrol, and Harley Quinn. So that's probably when you heard the name.
Yeah, probably. Because all of those other things I'm actually aware of, and I had almost never heard of Stargirl before, even in
just general
comics.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it makes sense that someone called Stargirl would exist in a set of comic superheroes. It's a pretty generic name. But yeah, until you just messaged me this afternoon and was like, hey, Stargirl's out, do you want to do a podcast about it tonight? I was like, yeah, sure, I got time. No one else is doing anything anyway, so neither am I.
I almost think that's the perfect way that you put it. It's come at the perfect time because what else are you going to watch?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything else.
Yeah, I've kind of watched most of anything else that's interesting or that anyone else has jumped on.
Or that is still running, because most things have, you know, halted completely.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, did you watch Tiger King? You didn't watch Tiger King.
No, I didn't.
No. So yeah, I've watched Tiger King. I've now watched the Michael Jordan, like, basketball documentary with my housemate because he's heaps into basketball. So, like, those are sort of the two big things during isolation that everyone's pining over.
Yeah.
Because they're both really good. Like, even though I don't care about basketball, the Michael Jordan thing was actually pretty interesting. Like, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this is really just kind of, sure, I'll watch that. Like,
it's out.
Yeah, like, I could play games, but this is a piece of Edo content that we could be making, so let's watch that.
Oh, God. And to make sure that this piece of Edo content isn't only 6 minutes, we're going to dive, I think, into spoilers now. There's not much else to talk about on the surface level. So if you haven't seen it, maybe go watch it, go track it down. It's, you know where to find it. If you're on the internet, you know what to do. And then come on back because I think we're going to go into spoilers now. And the easiest place to start is, I think, probably, I assume you're feeling the same, the best part of this whole thing, which is the opening of this show, which is, for me, it felt like I was watching the reunion, like the comeback episode of a show I watched as a kid, like all these, superheroes and stuff that don't make any sense to me because I've never really read anything about them and stuff like that. But it was just so visually exciting and stuff. It didn't look amazing, but there was something straight away I was enthralled and I was like, where are we going with this? Because straight away we've got Starman and like Dr. Midnight and stuff dying. Just all die. Like
it's a crazy way to start.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know many of these characters at all. Like some of the names I'm like, oh, have I even heard of that character before? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was sort of like you could see them all working as a team.
Yeah.
Like you could see that they were a team, and seeing superheroes work as a team is always really good. Interesting and exciting. Like the intro of
Ultron
is just so good. It's one of the best like intros to a Marvel movie.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm just remembering how good that intro is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like it was almost like that intro, even though they were dying and losing and stuff. Yeah. Mixed with, I think because I didn't know the characters, it felt very Watchmen.
Yes,
Plus
absolutely.
the fact that I think Captain Midnight looks like Batman.
Yeah, Dr. Midnight and all of them look like the OG costumes of Watchmen characters, which I'm sure is the inspiration because this is like the old universe Justice League and stuff. So I'm sure they definitely drew upon the Watchmen.
Yeah. So mentally I just jumped straight to, oh, this is like it's like a kid-friendly Watchmen, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
But like one of the first characters you see was not expecting to see Luke Wilson.
No,
like what the hell?
Very
so
cool.
Bizarre.
And like obviously we'll come back to him, but I have gone on record to one other person, so I don't know if that counts as a record. Technically, it's a record because it's recorded, but I'm gonna keep watching this show for him primarily. Like, if there's one thing that's keeping me around, it's Luke Wilson.
Yes. Yeah. He's great. And like obviously if people were unaware, this is the brother of Owen Wilson, the much more famous one. But when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, that's Luke Wilson, the brother of that other guy. And for some reason I remembered the name of the less famous guy.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, really, really fun intro. And the other thing, probably one of the only other characters that I recognized in the intro was when someone just yelled out Grundy, and you see Solomon Grundy like running, chasing after a car. I was like, what? Like, where did that come from?
He didn't look bad.
Yeah, you didn't see much of him. He was mostly shrouded in shadows because it was night and stuff. But yeah, it looked like what I would imagine a live action Solomon Grundy would look like.
Yeah.
I didn't really think that I would see a live action Solomon Grundy.
No.
Like, I don't know if I've even read a comic with him in it, but I mostly just know him from Injustice, I think.
The Arkham games. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably that as well. But yeah, I only know him from video games. So I knew of him, knew that he existed, and just seeing him, I was like, oh my gosh, I know that guy. That's the one guy that I know in this. Like,
yeah,
awesome.
It's like, oh, this is DC. Yeah, but really cool. Obviously, Luke Wilson just spends the whole thing just yelling out character names, which was a bit weird. Like, the first pieces of dialogue is just him being like, Wildcat, Hourman, Dr. Midnight. It's like, what is going on?
So much like that. It was so bizarre.
Yeah. But my favorite thing in this intro was Jay Garrick's helmet, which was on the steps.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
When that happened, I was like, was that the Flash's helmet? Like, what?
Yeah.
The person I was watching it with was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I am praying, and like, it's the Flash thing to do. I'm praying he slipped into the Speed Force and we get him later on, because he's the only like on-screen one that wasn't dead. Like, there was obviously a lot of Justice Society members that they didn't even show.
Yeah.
Like, being dead and stuff, because in the picture later on, there's Green Lantern in there as well. So, obviously a lot they didn't even bother showing, but the fact that Helmet was there makes me go, maybe he'll come back later. I want to see the Flash in this style because it's so cinematic.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I am praying Joel McHale, who played Starman, comes back later on because, again, he's like the best thing about this whole episode.
That's right.
For the few lines
intro,
he says.
Yes. Because that was the other guy that I kind of recognized, but I just went, yeah, that's the guy from Community.
Yeah, totally.
Like I have never seen that guy in anything else. I have no idea who he is. I didn't know what his name was.
Yeah,
there was another person later on that I thought I recognized, and then I realized that person's actually like 30, and the character I was looking at was like 10.
Yeah, right.
But he looks the same as the guy when the 30-year-old guy was like 10. Anyway, we'll get to that later.
But you forgot that time passes.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Well, just speaking of, because this is the most enthralling part of the podcast, people that look like other people. The main guy, what's his name? Brainwave. He looks like Reverse Flash, like the normal, like the non-Wells version of Reverse Flash. It's very strange. Like, I'll bring up some photos of you, not of Brainwave. I'll show you later, but it threw me at first, and I also thought that Starman had yelled out Grainwave, and I'm like, that's a dumb name for a villain.
It's like a Australian chip.
Yeah, Grainwave! I'm like, okay, that's a weird sponsorship in the middle of this battle.
Just someone eating chips in the corner.
Yeah.
At least they're being healthy, right?
That's true, before he gets impaled by an icicle, which was... bizarre. Anyway, we've got to move past this intro.
We do.
Basically, the biggest thing about it is I'm over shows and films starting with the most exciting thing possible and then just moving to the dullest thing possible, and that's kind of what the show does. For
the rest of the 50 minutes of the show.
Yeah. It's just so bland. Like, I get it. And, like, As you know, an arc of a television series, I get it. It's like, here's where all the characters we're about to introduce, this is the kind of thing they're going to get to by the end of the series, or the end of the series, season or series. But, man, it's like, this show's going to go for so long before that happens. It's like if Smallville, I know Sam especially loves Smallville, but imagine if Smallville started with him being Superman straight away, and then it was just him as Clark Kent, like, learning the powers again for 8 seasons.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I don't want to watch this. And I think, look, I don't want to rag on it because it's still a, cohesive and interesting episode, but this opening kind of, it gives you blue balls for the rest of the 50 minutes.
It sort of seems like this was DC Universe's, one family/child friendly show that they were working on, because it just seemed like a teen teen/kid drama. Like, girl loses her dad but then starts at a new school and in a new town, and she doesn't know anyone, and there's bullies, and
it's the most CW of all their shows. Like Titans and Doom Patrol and Swamp Thing don't touch this kind of genre of television.
Yeah, they've got darkness. It's like, it starts in darkness and it's all like,
it's broody,
dark, but then fun. And you've got like Titans is super broody.
Except Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol's just fucking amazing.
But this is
just
like,
CW.
For most of the episode, it didn't feel like I was watching a superhero thing.
No, not at all.
It seemed like I turned on like a Disney Channel.
You turned on Stargirl.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably Stargirl.
The Disney Stargirl. Yeah, it very much changed very quickly.
I guess the biggest, the most integral thing is Courtney, which I had to look up her name because Stargirl.
Yep.
Obviously, she's going to be the thing that drives the show. The way I would liken her is to, like, Stephen Amell in the first episode of Arrow, where it's like, I don't like you yet. You don't seem interesting. You're not doing anything interesting to me, but you've done enough for me to be tied to you, in comparison to Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist, where it was like, the second they're on screen, you're like, you are a superhero. I can't wait to see where you go. And I'm just a bit sad that she didn't have that vibe.
Yeah. She just 100% just had the I am a teen in high school.
Yeah.
I lost my dad and I'm brooding about it kind of thing. Like,
I'm looking at stars. Look at the stars I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Look at this shot of me looking at stars.
absolutely. Yeah, so I just, for a lot of this, it just lost the fact that it was a superhero thing at all.
I get, because that's, the Tobey Maguire, that's what everyone falls back on, that it was definitely focused on him being Peter Parker more than Spider-Man. But there's nothing interesting going on.
Yes.
Like, there's no interesting additional stories happening. It's just things that are not the superhero. Like, it's just other stuff is happening.
Yeah, like, usually, while the superhero is finding out they're a superhero, you see the bad guy doing stuff too at the same time.
Yep.
This was very much not that. It was like the bad guy came in the last like 5-10 minutes.
Yep.
And was showing that they were a bad guy. But like usually you would get in and out. There was no like
Yes, yeah, totally. It was top and tailed with superhero stuff.
Yeah. There was kind of no double story going on where you're like the villain is like still being a villain somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then she's going to find out and be like, well, I've now got this magical, somewhat talking stuff that maybe I can use to defeat that thing that's happening over there, and then it'll take her the whole season to get there.
Totally. Or even, it's like, to keep going back to the easy things, it's like the Flash's first episode. The incident happens at the start. Then pretty much before he even wakes up as the Flash, you get introduced to the Weather Wizard. And the Weather Wizard does stuff throughout the episode before he can even help, because he's still learning how to be the Flash. And then just in the one episode, by the end, he's able to defeat him with like minimal powers. It's not like he's the best version of himself yet, but you've got a good arc in the first episode. You understand the hero, swallowed everything, understand the world that the hero's in, whereas this, it just treads water the whole episode.
Yeah, that's a great phrase for it as well. It's very shallow, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but her little brother, okay?
I'm intrigued.
That was the kid that I thought that kid, like when I saw that kid, I thought it was Bean from Even Stevens.
Oh my God.
Do you know that kid?
I don't. I know Even Stevens, though, so I know the reference.
Okay. So it looked like one of the kids from that, like straight up.
Yeah.
I 100% thought it was that. The guy's name is Stephen Anthony Lawrence, which is weird because Stephen Lawrence is my dad's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I straight up thought that kid was Bean. But that guy is now like 30-something, probably. But yeah, first look, I'm like, oh, it's the guy. No, it's not, Josh. That's been 20 years since that show was on. Like, calm down.
Oh, now I want to know what the little kid in Malcolm in the Middle looks like, because I wonder if he looks any older. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It just, like, has the passing of time changed him?
Totally.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Did you hear, speaking of Malcolm in the Middle, just quickly, did you hear that, like, that guy, Malcolm, the main guy, doesn't remember anything about Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah, Frankie Muniz.
That's crazy.
Totally.
He's got some weird, like a memory disorder.
Yeah.
Where he just cannot remember even being in that show.
I just need to know if he remembers Agent Cody Banks. That's the only thing that matters to me.
I would almost guess he doesn't. Wouldn't that have been, like, in the middle of it?
If it's that period of life.
Yeah,
totally.
So strange.
Wild.
But then he would just have millions of dollars.
Yeah, what'd I do? Did I rob a bank?
Yeah, he's probably so wealthy.
Just on that kid, did you like that kid in this show, the Stargirl?
I didn't mind him. He was okay. He was a bit of a dick sometimes.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the worst little brother that I could have imagined.
No. I think he plays the role well. The issue is the costume designer and the script, because he shows up in a shirt that just says video games, and then near the end of the episode,
I missed that.
just says video games on it, and then near the end he's like, I joined a video game club, we're going to make a video game, it's called this, I like to play Fortnite. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening here?
Yeah.
He's worse than the Shazam kid that like is playing with his phone inside his eyes. Remember that shot? When Shazam, the little kid, he's just got the phone in his face.
Yep, I do remember that. Yes. Yeah, when that kid was like, yeah, we make video games and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's lame. Who the hell would do that, idiot?
What a dumb job.
But yeah, that was...
Be a maths teacher.
Yeah. But yeah, that kid, like, yeah, I didn't find him, like, grating or, like, awful or anything.
No.
He was subject to a, like, look, the whole the show's very cheesy and corny.
It is.
So he was just written
cheesy.
exactly like that. He was subject to a script that he had to say. But yeah, I didn't find him too awful. But he's a bit of a jerk to his parents, or at least his dad. So that was annoying.
It was, and it feels like it's not going to be an arc. It's just like, that's him. He's just a dick.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like at some point he might find out that his sister's a superhero or something, and that will change nothing.
Oh, he'll be the Felicity, right?
Oh, he'll be the
guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's absolutely it, surely. Just speaking of tropes, I think I've got an entire dot point on it. The show's full of them. The whole high school section, as we've said, horrible, just disgusting.
It's so gross. Also, the whole town is creepy as hell.
So, that's where I was going with the trope thing.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering / hoping that the town might be either a trap or our villain, our main dude, controls people's minds.
Is a mind control, yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is like the reason, what's his name? Luke Wilson? I don't, whatever his real name is. Wanted to come back to the town was some sort of subconscious thing, and like this is just a massive trap town, and that's what we'll find out at the end of the series or something.
Yeah, it could be. Was it like Dan or something? Or Dom?
Pat.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember. I knew it was like short 3 letters because the son calls him Pat.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I vaguely remembered his name, was the son calls him Pat.
Absolutely. That's why I've just written Pat.
Yeah. And then he was like, you call me Dad. And he was like, Courtney calls you Pat? It's like, well, that's the...
not adopted.
Step. That's right. I was going to say in-law. Not the in-law.
That's the step.
That's
Courtney
the step.
You've got a talking step?
She's got a talking staff.
Yes, true.
Can have a talking step. Why not?
On that stuff, bit dumb, but again, it's kind of targeted as kids, and I'm sure it's in the comics as well, but I don't know, man. As we keep saying, it's just tropey as all hell, and it's like Doctor Strange's cloak. If it just did the things it does in the Doctor Strange movie for the whole movie, you'd be like, just stop doing that.
Yeah.
But it's that, and I'm just like, if that keeps happening, I'm out.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird and lame. It was kind of funny sometimes, and I'm still confused by the powers, because sometimes it would just stop in midair.
Yeah.
When she wants it to, and then also when she doesn't want it to.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, because like when she first discovered it, it would just stay still and she couldn't pull it. But then she like went out into the park, threw it in the air, and it stayed, and then she starts doing gymnastics on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did you do that?
What's happening here?
How did you know to do that? Did you tell it to stay there?
Yeah.
Is it just staying there so that you can do gymnastics on it? How does it know you do gymnastics? Why do I vaguely know you do gymnastics?
Yeah.
Because the first day...
Because they keep telling us.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't hear... Like, the only time I knew that she did gymnastics was she came home from school and her mum said, did you join the gymnastics team?
The other thing was the when she first gets to the school and she's like, I wanted to do gymnastics. And they're like, well, you have to do cheerleading. But I want to do gymnastics.
I missed that. Like, okay.
Come on now. Yeah, it's the popular kids. When there was a nerd table, my God.
Friggin' nerd. And what about who was that person that was like, your seat's over there?
So that's why I'm like, mind control.
Was that a teacher though? Because she looked like a teacher.
She did.
But she also looked like she could have been a student.
That's the issue with no uniforms in America.
Yeah. Like, I just couldn't tell. And then her phone gets stolen by the bully. She grabs it off him, pushes him. He falls into someone else. And then instantly, I don't know, the principal or a teacher or someone grabs her and puts her in detention.
Yeah.
Like, that principal was close enough to have seen everything that just happened, to have grabbed her that quickly and taken her out. Grabbed her like by the arm and is dragging her through. That's illegal. You can't do that. Like, especially in America, you would get sued.
Yeah. That's
straight up assault. But yeah, like, surely she should have taken the guy as well, at least. That was just insane.
Again, mind control, it's the son of the mind controller. Maybe that's a thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Maybe it's a bit of that, bit of prejudice he's putting.
The big bully, for people, if you haven't watched it but you're still listening, I'm half probably talking to you, Emmy. The bully that is like stealing her phone and stuff is the son of the villain, who we find out a little bit later, towards the end of the episode, really. Yeah. After she blows up the car.
And the cars. The whole town is like, it's set in the 50s or something.
That was another thing I had.
Yeah.
Like, I wrote down, before she had her phone out, I said, when is this even set?
Yeah.
Because he has an old school car.
Yeah.
The thing, like, I know it was 10 years earlier, but that looked like it was the 80s or the 70s or something. Like, it looked like it was Watchmen era.
Totally.
And then it's like 10 years later, she's got this smartphone and stuff, but then he goes down, he's looking through records of all of his team and like villains and stuff. Every photo is in black and white. It almost looks like he grabs these files and blows dust off them, like they've been there for 200 years.
But it's been 10.
Yeah, everything looks so old.
Yeah.
Pick an era that you're working in. Like, it's so
like, here's the thing, right?
Yes.
Because this is like an alternate universe. It's not the mainline DC thing. So I can accept things not being as we would expect.
Okay.
But the like chronological order of like 10 years on from that thing didn't feel like, it felt like we went from the 80s to 2020. It was real weird. Because everything else, most things are up to date. Like, the bully's got an old car, he's got an old car, but there's still modern cars everywhere. She's got a phone, and like all that. So there was just like a disconnect. And I mean, we're saying these things having not read any Earth 2 comics, so who knows? But as a new viewer to the show, it was just a bit off-putting.
Yeah, it was very, very strange. And like the fact that even like 10 years passed, it felt like 40.
Yes.
The adults didn't age at all. Everyone just looks exactly the same.
Yeah, especially Luke. Like, he doesn't change at all.
Yeah.
He's not young in the other bit, but he also is like a child at some point in time, so...
Yeah, like, it's very strange. I just, the time jump in this and just any visual era placement, it's very confusing.
It's very strange. I want to get to like the action that's at the end of the episode because it's nowhere else, and just the idea of it. But the thing I want to bring up really quickly is the music of the episode, which I really, really liked. It's from Pina Tupac, who did Captain Marvel. So that worked in her favor.
Cool.
Yeah, because a lot of the main thing I'm worried about, I'm like, if she does Captain Marvel too, she's going to be exhausted.
Yeah. Like,
in terms of this stylistic tone. And just another thing that I found out when I was looking it up, I knew she did Krypton, which is the other DC show, but she actually did additional music for the Justice League film.
Oh,
so there you go.
Yeah, she's doing heaps well. But it's funny that she did it for Stargirl, because it almost feels like for Captain Marvel, because it almost feels like Stargirl is the child version of Captain Marvel.
Totally.
Like, she's got a big star. Like, it's all about the star, right? Which is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's logo is a star.
Yeah, and like this show almost feels like the 90s section of Captain Marvel. Like, so the kind of, and this is getting real deep, but the color grading of it is all the browns and the hues of that kind of era. More so, actually, something I want to bring up is that they are clearly, despite all the weird 50s stuff, they're clearly going for the emblem kind of Spielberg era of cinema with a lot of their color grading and their shots and stuff, which is really interesting, and the music does wonders for that. But I think that's why I've got a tiny little soft spot for this, because it does feel like a film from the 80s, which is really nice.
Sure. That's definitely something you would notice.
Yeah.
Not so much myself, but
no.
Fair enough. That's cool.
But yeah, no, it fits in that like Goonies spot of that kind of vibe, but not
fair.
Not nearly anywhere as good.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the action of the episode and just her finding out how the staff works and stuff. How did you enjoy that? Like, pretty much the third act of it, when she gets the staff and
she's on
learns
the roof.
how it works and stuff, and eventually falls into the tire factory for whatever reason.
Yeah, cool. So, a hilarious thing.
Oh,
For some reason, when I watched this on my TV couldn't handle from that point on, and it basically fast forwarded. So the staff goes into her bedroom when she's asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another thing. She was in bed asleep, fully clothed.
With her clothes. Yeah.
When the camera's going upstairs, all the lights are off in the house, so everyone's supposedly asleep.
Yeah.
She's still wearing jeans, full face of makeup, like she may as well have been wearing shoes.
Yeah.
She's apparently asleep on top of her covers. This is middle of the night.
She's like a video game character.
Yeah, it's so...
Video game characters never get underneath sheets.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And then, like, at least video game characters from, like, PS3 and prior.
Yeah.
And then the staff comes in, makes a big racket. Her mum comes in, also fully clothed. Like she's just about to go out to work or something. Full face of makeup. Like...
Yeah.
What is that? I'm so confused.
It's not even nitpicking though. Like, we're not attacking this for dumb reasons. That's just weird.
Yeah,
it's just flat out strange.
Yeah, it was just something I noticed, and I was like, "This is." I don't know why any of that is happening. Like, it just seems so strange to me. But then, so the mum came in. The girl sort of like palmed off her mum because she was trying to hide this stuff under the bed or whatever. The mum left. For some reason, the episode skipped to her on the roof, running and sliding her butt along the staff, and then it fast-forwarded to her in the tire factory, and I think the bad guy was walking towards her.
Wow.
And then it fast-forwarded to her running out of the tire factory, and then fast-forwarded to her in front of a giant mech.
Amazing.
And then, I won't spoil, like, I got to watch maybe the next couple of seconds of the mech, so I know what the mech is as well. Yeah. But like that was the action thing you're currently asking me about.
Amazing.
That's what I watched. So the third act I watched within about 10 seconds. It was so strange. I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it after this. But I kind of just wanted that experience because it was so funny.
That's bizarre.
That I kind of didn't want to know what happens just to jump into this and just be like, no idea. Yep. So weird.
Yeah, good.
But hilarious.
So I don't think you really miss that much because she just she leaves. The broom is like the broom. It's a freaking broom. It's like Harry Potter shit.
Pretty much.
The broom. The staff's like, we got to go out here, and then the staff just takes her to a rooftop and just chills, and it's like, all right, let's do what we were doing earlier in the park, but now we're on a rooftop. Like it's the same idea.
Great.
Completely. Yep. Nothing else new there. But then I think either she gets on the it's a scepter thing. Staff. I don't know what they call it. Yeah. I think she must get on it, and then it takes her into the sky, and as she's flying over the tire factory in this 1950s bomb town, the Brain Man, which he's Brainwave, but he's also like Magneto, which because Magneto doesn't do Professor X stuff. He does his own thing. This is like those two characters combined because he can move whatever he wants as well with his mind.
I think his brain powers is like telekinetic and telepathic.
Yeah, so he throws, I assume, some tires because it's just lots of tires there, and then she falls. She plays the action of the show pretty well.
So does he throw tires at her while she's flying?
I believe so.
Right.
That's how she falls down.
That's weird.
Which is, it's strange. I think she falls off the staff and then it tries to catch her and kind of breaks the fall and everything.
Sure.
But yeah, I think she does a really good job of portraying the action of these scenes and stuff. Like, as bland as she is in pretty much everything else, she was a Nickelodeon star, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as boring and stereotypical she is and other things, I think she will make a pretty good superhero because she really does play the action quite well because she gets in a scuffle with Brainwave and, he's throwing tires at her and then he realizes that he can just pick her whole body up because, he can. So just do that.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs her and then she Mjolnirs the staff to hit him and somehow she gets out because it's the first episode of the show. But he's grabbing her and he's like, why are you thinking of your father? And it's like, because that's something we really need to talk about, this the father thing. But that's kind of it. That happens. She goes out, and then old mate's out there in the mech. But the father thing, is the weakest thing they could possibly, like, the most stereotypical superhero thing, and that's not the thing that's going to make me keep watching, because I don't care.
Definitely. And I think, like, it's, again, as we've said before, it's probably a thing in the comic.
Yeah,
that's just a thing in the comics. I don't know when Stargirl was even first created, but if it was early enough, it was probably that stereotypical. But yeah, it was very weak. But also the fact that Pat knew Starman, was good friends with Starman.
Yes.
So he knew the family.
Yes.
So he just went and married his dead best friend's wife.
So that's the thing, and that's why it can't be, because that's such an awkward thing if it turns out to be Starman. Like, to have that already be a thing established in our minds, it's a gross idea. Like, why would that be the first thing in the first episode?
Yeah, it is very gross. But, like, he never denied that it was or wasn't her father.
And neither did the mum. Like, she was like, she made up a thing, but that's one of those, this thing happened to your father, that could easily be he was a superhero. Like, your dad is an angel in Guardians. It's like, well, he actually was an angel.
But then at the same time, like, I don't know, to me, the mother, it sounds like the mother didn't know. Like, the mother just straight up did not know.
Yes.
And so, yeah, like, that's where I'm at with that. So, but, like, I don't know. I don't know where that's gonna go, because, yeah, that's super gross.
It's gross, but it's also the fact that that he's like, it's not possible he's your dad, and then she opens the locket and it's literally a photo of Starman.
It is.
It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, she held the photo, was looking straight at Starman, who does not wear a mask.
No.
And then has a photo of her dad directly next to it and is like, I think that's my dad. Of course it is. It's a photo of him.
Yeah.
The photos would have been taken at the same time. They're not older or younger.
Yeah.
It's the same, like, he's died
dead
around the same time. Yeah. Like, straight up, it's not a new photo.
No.
It's back then when he was Starman. Like,
it's so weird. It's like, but then my thing is then, like, is the thing in her locket like a photo of her mum put in there, like David Hasselhoff in Guardians? Like, she was a big fan of Starman and was like, "Yep, that's your dad."
Oh man,
that'll do.
So weird.
Because yeah, like, what? Otherwise, what are we looking at? Like, are they gonna go down the route of the Flash and have like an alt universe one? Because that's done. Like, and like, obviously, again, the comic thing, we haven't read the comics, but this is a television series that is going to be watched by people who haven't read the comic. So as much as, if, you know, the 7 people that listen to this, as much as you want to bash us for being like, just read the comic, it's like, well, no, because this is a TV show that should be able to portray that source material in a way that newcomers will enjoy. And we're struggling to enjoy it. Like, that's an issue. That's not like, oh, you just don't like it because you haven't read it. That's not how these things should be working.
Yeah. Like, superheroes and stuff are something that we are familiar with. Like,
yes,
this should be something that we can get on board with pretty quick and understand for the most part, at least.
Yeah.
But just on the very last thing, I left out the mech.
Yes.
The mech reveal, which...
The Transformer.
Yeah, so she just runs out. There's this giant mech standing there, and he basically says, well, the mech says to Stargirl, who's like standing aghast in front of this mech, just goes, "I told you not to take the staff, Courtney." It's, what's his name? Ted?
It's Luke Wilson. Yeah.
Whatever his name is. I can never remember his freaking name.
Pat.
Freaking.
It's 3 letters.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. Who cares?
Dave.
Yeah. I almost said Dave just then. Yeah, it's Pat in a giant mech for some reason. Like, where was that when everyone was dying at the start? Did he build that?
That is, this is what I assume it is, because it's the car. Like, that's what that mech is. It's the red and white car. So I think all those parts that he was bringing out was like, which is bizarre because like, the part seemed like it wasn't finished, and we have like the one bit where he's like, I can work with this, and then at the end the mech's there. So I'm not sure if we're supposed to assume in the like in between creepy gym bro interaction and the end of the episode that he created that mech, because that's kind of what I get, because he didn't have the part. There was just a bunch of part boxes. So assumedly they were parts for the mech, which means he had to make the mech
Yeah,
But
and this did feel like it was a single day,
yes,
not like a couple of weeks.
a week. Yeah. So it's very bizarre. But yeah, so he's got a transformer, basically. That's what that is.
Yeah. Super random reveal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it really funny that my TV glitched out because it essentially did the thing that you and I were talking about on Facebook yesterday where we we want something like an auto summarizer for text.
Yes.
Something that can just tell us exactly what a text thing says without someone else having to write it. It's just programmed to do that.
Yeah.
My TV did that for the last part of this film. It just went, yeah, this is what happened, this would happen, this would happen. Like every major beat that you said was pretty much everything that I saw.
Yeah, good.
In like 2-second increments.
That's all you needed.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I've got nothing else to say about this thing.
Yeah, this was fine.
It's got lots of issues, and I also think it's not weird. It's not so weird that I want to know where it goes, and it's not normal, but with an interesting plot that I want to know where that plot goes. It's so in the middle. It's not trying anything new, and it's not doing the things that we already know well. It's just here.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, I'm at least going to watch the next episode. If nothing changes, I don't think I can watch anymore because I don't think I'll be able to care, but we'll see.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to watch a bit more as well. I'll gladly go ahead and keep watching. Just because it just is so easy to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd jump on more of this. Keep looking forward and seeing what else they do.
You sound enthused.
Oh, look, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's true.
Her name is Breck.
Yeah. Breck Basinger.
What a name!
What a double one that is.
Breck. I know a guy called Breck.
Oh, really?
He used to work at my work, but now he works somewhere else.
It's not it doesn't feel like it fits the gender because it doesn't seem like a name.
Yeah, not at all.
Like, I don't think you can put it down to anything. But I do wonder if this is a show that I'll fall off and like Flash, Arrow, like that whole universe, I'll come back to and be like, wow. You moved on, didn't you? Like,
yeah.
I feel like it could possibly do that.
Especially as the girl gets older too.
Yes.
Because she's the age she is, being young. Idiot.
Amazing.
Thank you. Because she's so young, she will age quite quickly. I don't know, by season 3, like, she'll be an adult out of school, you would assume, and, like, quite mature, so this show hopefully should mature quite quickly with her.
Yeah, hopefully.
You would hope so. And it would stop being like, oh, there's a bully and stuff like that. Yeah, like she will look older soon, like quite quickly, and so will the brother, the stepbrother.
Yeah, totally.
So like you can't, even if she is one of those people that looks that young forever, like. You can't hide the kid. The kid looks like a kid. He will grow up. So you need to push everyone along as well.
Unless he's like that guy in the Umbrella Academy where he's like actually like 30 something and looks like 7 years old.
That'd be great.
Be pretty funny. But I think that's it for this show. It's out there if you want to watch it. It's out there, as I believe the catchphrase of the X-Files. I don't think the show has a catchphrase. But I
don't think the catchphrase for X-Files is "It's out there."
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's not. It's out there.
I'm gonna find this out.
I don't know. But
the truth is out there.
The truth is out there. Yeah. I thought it was something a little bit more, but just it's out there.
It's out there.
That's so good. I wish it was just it's out there.
It's out there.
It's out there. Just an Australian guy too.
It's out there, mate. Don't worry about it.
Australian Scully, whatever.
No, Scully. That's right.
It's out there.
It's out there, mate. It's somewhere out in the bush. What you see? Here's a bloody. What do you call it? A dish. One of those kind of circle dishes with lights on it.
A dish.
A dish. Well, I'm not going to call it a saucer because that's too intelligent for this character.
That's fair. And it's not very Australian.
So we'd call it a. No, we just dish with some bloody sparklers on it, mate.
That'll do. This podcast has gone to weird places very quickly.
It's fine. If you want to keep watching things with our faces in it, you can check out our YouTube channel, which you're probably on. And if you're not on that, you can jump on over to Spotify and listen to the podcasts that are also all there.
You mix that up so much. If they're not on YouTube, then they can jump to Spotify. Where else are they listening to this? They're the only two places we have this.
That's what I mean. If they're not on YouTube, then you can go to Spotify and listen to the other ones.
I'm so confused, because if they're not on YouTube, that means they're already on Spotify. So they don't need to go to Spotify.
Well, they don't need to go there, but they can listen to the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get you. All right.
Yeah, the other ones. You know the other ones?
Yeah, I'm nitpicking, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up this week? Well, you've released your thing. Have you released your thing this week?
I haven't put anything out there yet, but it's out there.
It certainly is. I have a first play of Super Mash coming. Pick 2 genres and it'll generate a game randomly for you. Some of this was quite surprising to me, and you'll see why in the video. It'll be out later this week, hopefully.
Very nice.
Yes, and then I have something coming up next week. I'm very excited.
Did you see a doctor about it if it's coming up? Is it just like... it's not fluids or anything, is it?
No, I think I've got the stuff to handle it.
Yeah, cool. I should be checking out. I should be. Someone's told me to do it. I will be checking out Unto the End as a demo for that, and
what is
kind of
that?
just like it's like this Viking. It's like God of War in a side scroller, but it's just the combat. But it's very simplified God of War. It's also one hit kill. I don't know what just happened. It's also one hit deaths, which is the Unto the End bit. So I will be crying.
That sounds awesome. I am currently watching the video in silence, like the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I'm kind of skipping through.
It's very fun.
This looks great.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yes, very good. Cool. Are you doing anything else? Are you watching anything else?
I might be drinking some milk, but the other thing I did today was I finished or caught up on the Harley Quinn series, which was very, very good. And I also...
Wait, finished?
Well, I caught up to the most recent episode,
Okay,
but
cool.
I also think there's only 6 more left or less than that. It's a shorter back half because it was originally one long run. So there's not too many in this, but it's definitely taken a backseat comparatively to the first season, but it's taking a lot more time to focus on specific characters, and because they spent a whole series just kind of having fun with a lot of the characters, it's not a bad thing to kind of take the pace back a little bit. So yeah, it's pretty fun. But outside of that, nothing else. Just working because
you finished Clone Wars too.
I did. I mean, I didn't make it, but I did finish watching it. Yeah, that was good. That was a couple of weeks ago. So that was sad. I don't know if they 100% stuck the landing for the finality of a 9-year-long show, but it was a good ending for those 4 last episodes.
Okay.
It was really fun and not fun as well because it's, the bad stuff happens, but yeah, it's a film. It's an actual film. Those 4 episodes thrown together is one of the best. It's still just behind Empire Strikes Back, but it would be my second favorite Star Wars film.
Wow. There you go. Far out. Cool.
Yeah, but I haven't really played anything. I jumped back into Fallen Order to check out the Inquisitor costume for Cal and the kind of big game board chess thing that you can do, which is really fun. But that's all.
Cool.
I've just got to play so many games for work. I don't have time.
Yeah, fair. Nice.
Yeah.
What have I been doing? I don't even know. I've been playing Hollow Knight. That pissed me off a lot last week. Sorry, Grubby. But yeah, I spent, I think, 3 hours on one of the bosses with about a 2 to 3 minute turnaround on each attempt. 3 hours straight, that is. Just dying over and over and over again. Until I came up with a new idea of how to improve my abilities in the game to then come back to him, and that I beat him in about 4 attempts after that, which was much nicer than much nicer than like 90 or more.
Yes,
perhaps.
that's fair.
Yeah, so that game is freaking busting my balls sometimes, but for the most part, I am enjoying it. It's just very frustrating. But yeah, that's kind of it. I'm jumping in and out of The Last of Us, which has been good, leading up to the release of Last of Us Part 2.
Insane.
And as of this week as well, I am so excited for Tony Hawk. I'm gonna get through this. There's been a Tony Hawk series I've been wanting to do for Edo for a couple of months now, which I have already mentioned to Will before this was even announced. And that's going to happen now. It has to.
Yeah.
It definitely has to. So I'm going to jump in on that soon. So keep an eye out for that in the next couple of months.
Good. Very keen to see that.
Yes.
All right. Yes, again, thanks for listening to whatever this just was. If you enjoyed, remember you can subscribe or follow if you're on whichever site does either of those things.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into specifics ever again.
I'm so sorry. It's been a weird night. I'm tired.
It's all right.
I probably just covered my mouth while talking just then. And now I have to go continue editing a video before going to bed and then getting up and doing it all again. Good times.
It's your own fault. All right.
I'm a happy man.
Yeah, sounds like it. Enjoying that ISO. Well, until the next one of these, which might be next week, and it might be on Extraction and also possibly Code 8. So if you want to listen to those films, you can also watch them with your eyes if you want to.
Yeah, you can do that.
They're both on Netflix. And you can drop us a comment on this video on, a site, or I might put up a Facebook post and you can comment there if you have any thoughts on Extraction and Code 8. But until then, I'm going to go have a bath.
Cool. I'm going to edit a video, like I said.
Yeah.
Just before.
Good job. All right.
I got to play Good Job, too. I think I bought that.
Oh, you should.
I should play that.
You should. It's so messy.